I'm doing a couple of videos on how I use the CT.js-editor to make small games. The editor uses PIXI.js as the rendering engine, so we can use PIXI code directly. For adding text, that is the method that the editor is built to use. I am here going to look at the possibility to use PIXI.Graphic to draw different stuff like lines, boxes, ellipses and polygons. I am only scratching on the surface, and quite honestly I don't know all that much about this. Generally, I would say it is easier to just use an image, but sometimes using a graphic can have an advantage. Drawing a line to represent a laser beam in a game is one example where being able to use the graphic is much more practical. So let's begin with drawing a line between 2 points. I start by making a PIXI.Graphic object in the Start Room tab, and I call this object this line. I draw the line in the Frame Start tab. I start with clearing the object from whatever happened previous frame. Then I set the line style of the line, giving the width of the line and the color of the line as RGB, red, green, blue. I set the first point, the starting point of the line, with move to, and the second point as line to. And finally I add the line as a child to the room. And that is all it takes to draw a line. The starting and end points can be moved independently of each other in a way that I can't see how it would be done using an image. I can keep adding points with line 2 and get different shapes. It is also possible to draw curves. Using the 3 first points of the lines example and Bezier curve 2, we get a curve. There are other ways to draw curves, but this is the only one I'm going to show here. The code is set up in a very similar way as the lines example. All examples in this video will follow a very similar pattern. The curve in this example comes out like this. The next example will be a box. Here we add a line of code for filling the box with a color using begin fill. We can use line style or begin fill, or we can use both of them together. To draw a box we use the function drawRect with x and y and width and height as the parameters. This will not in itself draw the box. It will just put the information necessary to draw the box in the memory. The part that actually adds the box to the screen is this add child part. To have a box with rounded corners, we use the function drawRoundedRect, and we have a 5th parameter that directs how large the rounded corners will be. We can make a circle or an ellipse in a similar way using drawCircle or drawEllipse. The parameters for the ellipse are the center point and half the width and half the height. For the circle function, the parameters are for the center point and the radius. The drawStar function is kind of a funny thing. It is very similar to the drawCircle function, with one additional parameter to direct the number of points of the star. To me, slightly unintuitively, this is the 3rd parameter and the radius is the 4th. The last example will be draw polygon. The parameters will be the x and y position of the points in the order the lines will be drawn. The polygon will automatically close with a line between the last and the first point. In this case, I have set up the parameters as a separate variable that I then put in the parentheses of the function. There are lots of more things you can do with the graphics, and here is one place where you can find more information on PIXI.Graphic. Another way to find and test different options is through the help function that gives tips on what options are available that will be triggered when you type in something in the editor. Well, that is all for now. Have fun and see you later.